This is the At Home with Zac
and TT for the Mill Drive Home, reporting on the game that just finished at Vicarage Road. Watford 1.
Millwall 0.
Watford promoted to the Premier League after narrowly beating the Lions. After Bournemouth on Wednesday night, I was quite down. It was an abject performance against a very good side. Let's make no doubt about it. Well, we played another decent side today and had a far better battle, far better match. And if it wasn't just for our lack of quality in the final third, we would have definitely come away with at least a point. But Watford, because of their quality, probably deserved all 3 points based on that. And that's where you win games. And that doesn't matter whether it's in the Championship, League One or the Premier League. We heard something about the game against Bournemouth where it looked like Premier League against League One. Well, today looked like a lower-end Premier League team against a
higher-end Championship.
Yeah, well, I think you're giving us a bit more credit than we do. But I think a middle, in terms of the defensive work and the build-up play, I felt it was pretty decent from the Lions. We just lacked that quality in the final third. We started with a really changed. Oh, before we go any further, again, put your likes on the video if you do like it. We're not going to hit the 2,000 subscribers for the end of the season. We are definitely going to miss it. But if you don't mind subscribing to the channel, if you haven't already done so, we wanted to get to 2,000, but we're just over 1,900, so there's no way we're doing it. And put your comments in below. We are going to be doing a live video, which Zac enjoys doing, a bit of a question and answer session, as well as who we think is going to stay, who we think should stay in the squad, not who we think is going to stay. And any potential transfer targets. So that should be something that's enjoyable. So that'll be Wednesday at 7 o'clock, obviously British time. So we hope you can join us from around the world and get involved in that. And now we'll move on to the game. So we started with obviously Bartosz Białkowski in goal, a back three of Marlon Romeo, George Evans, and Jake Cooper. That's a pretty. You wouldn't be putting money on that at the start of January. Right wing back was Danny McNamara, left wing back was Scott Malone. In front of them, you had Billy Mitchell and Kefton Beld. And then we went at the front three. The left wing was Mason Bennett. The right wing was Jed Wallace. And up front, we had Tom Bradshaw. Before we go any further, who was your man of the match?
Today, Tom Bradshaw. I thought he stood out to me today because he had a few drives down the wing. He had a few shots, but there was one chance where he could have cut it back to Bennett, but he cut it back to Malone, which was unlucky. But I thought he done really well as a striker today, and he deserved a man of the match.
I think he played really well. I wouldn't have given him man of the match, but the difference between him and Budvarsson for me, you're looking at it, you're thinking, how has Budvarsson started any game over? Well, he hasn't really started many games, but he shouldn't be getting minutes. Bradshaw done well enough for what he's done, but again, it just shows you that we don't have anyone to put the ball in the back of the net on a consistent basis other than Jed Wallace and Mason Bennett. We had a chance, first we had the first chance of the match, a Jed half volley, kind of bounced to him from a Marlon Romeo long throw in. It bounced out to Jed, who kind of swiveled on it, and it was high, wide and handsome, to be fair. Watford then came into the game, had a number of decent opportunities in good areas. They obviously win the penalty. Billy Mitchell's a bit naive, trying to win the ball. His determination's got the better of him. It's a silly tackle. Sarr's, it's a dangerous run, but he's not going specifically into a dangerous area. He shouldn't be making a tackle there. There's no doubt about it. I'm sure he will know that more than anybody. It's a penalty given to, and Sarr steps up and kind of does bark with the eyes and kind of puts it straight down the middle. And
it's just a little bit left of the middle.
Yeah, a little bit left of the middle, and that puts them 1-up. From then, they created another decent chance. The ball whipped into the box. Gosling gets his head on it, goes straight at the goalkeeper, fortunately straight at Bart. And then they create another chance. Cleverly does great in midfield, really, really good. Gets to João Pedro, I think it's João Pedro. Gets to Pedro in the middle of the box. Pedro tries to do too much of it and just fritters away for a corner, and you'd expect him to do a little bit better than that. Funny enough, I think that Cleverly was running in behind Pedro if it had gone behind him, but he tried too much in the box and went away for nothing. Then we came more into the match. Bennett done really well, gets it into Bradshaw, and Bradshaw has a decent shot, but it goes wide. We then have another decent, good run by Brad. It was a great ball up to him. It was really good. His movement today was good for Bradshaw. Gregory-esque. I know you keep comparing him to past strikers, but similar to Gregory, although Gregory had far more of an end product, but made a great run, good control, gets it into Jed. Jed then plays it into Billy Mitchell, who drills the ball through the defender's legs, and it would have been great if Billy would have scored after conceding the penalty. It would have been a good lift for him personally.
And a lift for the team as well.
It would have been a good lift for the team. You don't want one player to get too upset about one bad decision, but it's a great shot, and the keeper makes a really good save. Zac was wondering why Foster wasn't in goal. Well, that kind of showed you why he wasn't in goal. You've got a decent replacement, and it was a good save. We then get to half time, and I'm thinking, oh no, sorry, I forgot about the other chance that we had. It was a deep ball in to Malone at the far post, and he's got a free header, and he tries to kind of loop it towards his far post again, but he just misses the target, and you want him to do better then. Again, like I said, in the final third, the quality just was not there for the Lions today. Half time comes and goes, and you're thinking, can we keep up the effort? Can we keep up the intensity? We did for the first 15 minutes without creating too much. Bradshaw does get in behind the chance that Zac alluded to earlier, and he probably should have pulled it back earlier to Bennett, but he doesn't. He pulls it back and it goes to Malone, but he doesn't. All the way to the back post, but he doesn't get him in stride. It's slightly behind him, so he tries to cut in and then he gets tackled. It wasn't Malone's greatest game today. He got into dangerous areas, and he showed his positioning is excellent, but he just didn't really make the right decision at the right time. Funny enough, I felt my man of the match, until we moved to right back, ironically, I felt that he struggled there. But at the right centre back, I thought Marlon Romeo done really well. A really good job in bottling up the quick attacking players for Watford. And I felt that it's not a position you'd normally play him. I'm really glad that Hayden Mullen come on and played in the centre back, although he got booked in the second half. I was talking about Marlon. Marlon, wrestled really well with Sarr. Sarr throws himself to the ground. There's a minimal amount of contact.
Literally.
Oh, it's so little, and he throws himself to the floor. And the one thing that was frustrating throughout the game was the talking and the shouting from the Watford bench. But then they sounded anxious, they sounded nervous, and maybe that's got the better of them. It was quite a physical game. I think only two bookings in I think it might have even been Muller.
Yeah, it was only Muller.
Only Muller that got booked.
Even though their players done exactly the same things about 5 times.
Yeah, and then again we kept going. Mitchell then had a shot deflected wide. He could have played Jed down the right, but I like the desire to have a shot at goal, have a pop. He's in a decent area, takes a deflection and just goes wide. And then Hughes absolutely wipes Kieftenbeld out in the box. There's a corner come in, and Hughes has grabbed him and pulled him to the ground. It wasn't seen on commentary, but it could be given as a penalty, but it happens to us so often in the box that we're very rarely going to get it. Then Romeo again does a great block. The ball comes into the box down the right. Sarr's played in down the right. He's just played in too far wide, but then he cuts it back in towards Gray that's running onto it, and Gray does really, Romeo does really well to get in front of him. He's kind of slipping as he's going, but he slips it.
He tripped up a little bit, but he still just got to the ball.
He slipped, but he blocked it, and then Gray has a shot that's well saved. We did make a number of changes at that stage. Billy came off, Bradshaw came off for Zaha and Williams. Williams looked quite tidy when he came on. McNamara came off, Malone came off for Muller and Mahoney, and Bennett came off for Tyler Bury. For me, moving forwards, we didn't really create. We had half chances. Kieftenbeld had a shot that was, blazed wide, but for me, now we've got 2 more games. We've got Bristol City and we've got Coventry. I want to see Muller starting. I want to see McNamara. I don't mind Romeo. He could potentially play that right centre-back position. Maybe move Evans up into midfield. But Bury's probably got to be given us. I personally don't think Bury's quite up to this level.
No.
But we've got 2 games to find out. As far as why not throw him out there? Give Jed a central position, play Bury out on the right
or the left,
and put Mahoney in there. Give him a proper run out. We've now got an opportunity to be able to see what they're like, see what they've got in the thing.
These last 2 games, we want to win, but they don't matter as much as the other games.
Yeah, well, they don't matter, and I could see why Rowett didn't really want to blood them all against Bournemouth and against Watford tonight. But that's it. You know, we've played 3 games. We played Brentford, we got a draw. Bournemouth outclassed us and deservedly beat us 4-1.
Yeah.
And Watford today, we should have got something out of, and that it's promising for next season because we're going to have wholesale changes. But the crux of the squad, there's enough good players in this team as long as we keep hold of them to give us something going forward for next year. But like we said, we're going to end it there. Well played to Watford today. Going back to the Premier League, another thing of the Premier League, you know, all of the money that goes in it. They've got Ismaila Sarr, who's probably one of the best players in the Championship, shouldn't be playing at this level.
He's so pacey.
So much money in football, and we just don't have it. Teams are going to be able to bounce back and forwards so many times. We're talking about the European Super League. Well, we need to get our own house in order before we start talking about anybody else. But thank you very much for watching the Millwall drive home. 2 more games before we can actually, hopefully, fingers crossed, drive home. We appreciate your viewing. We appreciate all the time and effort that you spend. We're going to be live on Wednesday at 1900 hours, which is 7 o'clock in the evening. Come and join us. Put your questions that you're going to put below and then come and join us. Thank you very much. No one likes us.
We don't care.